with, you said two things that I'm very interested to hear more on. One, which is you have to create value. And my question is, what does that mean? And how does one get to a place where they can create value? And then the second one is how important having an effective board is. And what would you describe as the skills or the things that a board needs to do to be effective?
Yeah, so value, and I'll tell you very simply, if I can give the example of my first board, the tourism board, where I was CEO. The tourism board was grant aided, is a grant aided institution. So whatever money they get is from government. So up until that point, 70% of that money would go into staff emoluments. Okay? Staff emoluments, salaries, benefits, staff loans, whatever. Nothing went into its core business, which was marketing, locally, regionally, and internationally. So first thing I went in, and I didn't have a board then, fortunately, so I could do a lot of these things on my own. I said, we have to turn it the other way around. Let's spend 60% on operations of the marketing side, and we'll do 40% on your salaries, because we needed to get Zambia known out there. And we're not going to do it by just paying ourselves salaries. And especially too, where your biggest selling point, the Victoria Falls, is claimed to be Zimbabwean, because you're not paying enough attention to your value creation activities by enhancing the awareness of the market. And then thirdly, you put the right people in the right seats. And once they're in those seats, you make sure they understand what their jobs are. Because at the end of the day, if they don't know what they're doing, you end up anywhere. So it was so important that I put in place all these three things. And most importantly was also to ensure that we were equipped as an entity to do our job. So they had one computer, they had one rickety vehicle. So using my banking experience, I decided to kit out the organization with vehicles. I made good friends with the American ambassador, and through USAID, they gave me computers, and we put everybody with a desktop computer, and we brought in an independent contractor to manage our website. And I managed to get donors to sponsor our attendance at shows abroad and even regionally, because we needed to show the value of what we're doing as an entity, that when government gives us this money, it's money that is well spent. So tourist arrivals went up. So for me, that's what I call value. And the how is to ensure you have very high engagement with the staff. And so one of the things that I did with the staff was, because up until that point, they saw marketing as the key driver of the business, only the marketing manager and his officers would be going around these shows. And I said, no, we're a marketing company, so everybody must be given a chance to attend these shows, whether it is locally, regionally, or abroad. And that worked out so well, because we had a roster where everybody's friends were used to attend a specific marketing event. And with that engagement, for me, to today, they call me their CEO, because I showed them that above all else, everybody brings value to what they're doing in their job.
Nankhonde, I was wondering if you could share with us your conversation with Gail Miller and a little bit about what you took away from that conversation as far as, you know, filling in for your father when you stepped into the medical university.
And may I add, because really leveraging off of what Charity was just sharing about the board dynamics and her leadership in that regard, you hinted at that also when you were taking over responsibility and talking about who you are versus what is the legacy that you were trying to move forward.
Yeah.
As an entrepreneur, I was bringing the business side. And so in that, we would talk about the students and growing the programs. And they would say, you know, like when I came in, we were ready to expand into radiology because of the growing number of cancers in the country. We were ready to do diagnostics. And it made sense from a public health perspective, But I said, but where's the viability? Where are the numbers? Where's the feasibility study that tells us that we have a market here? What's the size of the market? And so I was always there's somebody pushing back and stopping them doing what they wanted to do. And one of my challenges was the way I was communicating. And this is what I spoke to Gail about as well. Maybe my communication was a bit too sort of challenging for them. And I wasn't recognizing enough that they actually, have brought this company this far with my dad. And so I'm not taking anything away from that. I need to find where I add value. And I've been at loggerheads because I've been in a position where I've kept on bringing the business face and trying to challenge some of the decisions, trying to close the unprofitable programs, and increase the fees. And so I've been at loggerheads. And what Gail said to me was, they've managed the company this far. Do you think they're going to destroy it? Or do you think they're going to let it close? And I said, no, because we all eat from it. We all get our bread and butter from it. So they're not going to do that. And she made me realize that what can my contribution be? And we started talking about every board member has a competence that they bring to the table, and you must recognize that. And just because you have a competence you bring, does it match the needs of that table? And is the season right? So she said, I'm not saying that what you're bringing and contributing is wrong, but if you're at loggerheads, maybe there's something that the season is not matching. What should your contribution be now, and what is your exit strategy?